Top Games February 2024. Hey everyone, dear friends. So the holidays have come to an end, and we're looking ahead to working days, and with them, February bursts in with its huge list of game releases. Let's see if there's anything interesting on the list. We'll start traditionally in order, so get comfortable and let's dive in. Granblue Fantasy Relink. Starting February 1st, Granblue Fantasy Relink is coming out. It's an action-adventure RPG set in the Granblue Fantasy universe. The game takes place in a celestial kingdom across numerous flying islands, which you can only traverse using flying ships. You play as the captain of a skyship and set out on a journey either alone or with a team of 4, battling enemies and paving your way to the legendary island at the edge of the heavens, the source of the main threat. It seems there won't be an open world in the game. Instead, the game world is divided into various locations, each with its own quests and storyline missions. The combat system is a standard action, fighting game where you'll use regular and advanced attacks, along with unique abilities of each hero. Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash. On February 2nd, Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash is released. This is a 3-team fighting game based on the anime series Magical Battle. The game features several modes. You'll watch cutscenes and participate in key battles. Next is the cooperative mode with 2-on-2 battles. Here you can play with a friend against other players from around the world in either standard or ranked matching. There's also a mode where you can team up with a friend to fight hordes of curses, completing various mission objectives, as well as a free battle mode. There are more than 15 characters to choose from, each with unique abilities and fighting style. Interestingly, the game includes customization, and some modes offer character progression. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Also on February 2nd, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is released. This is a cooperative adventure shooter with a third-person view in an open world by Rocksteady Studios, creators of the Batman Arkham series. The game unfolds in Metropolis during Brainiac's invasion. The city will be twice the size of Gotham in Batman Arkham Knight, according to the developers. Main characters in the game include Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, and King Shark. Their primary task is to kill Earth's strongest heroes who have fallen under Brainiac's control. In addition to the main heroes, the game will feature many secondary characters with whom you'll interact throughout the game, such as Penguin, where you can craft and upgrade weapons, Gizmo, where you can get combat tech, the Toyman, providing melee weapons, and also Hack, a local A, with whom you'll upgrade skills and ability. Regarding gameplay, I think it's pretty clear. Run around the city, shoot enemies, level up your characters, and follow the story. You can play alone or in a co-op of up to 4 people. When playing solo, you can switch between heroes at any time. It's not exactly what fans expected, but Rocksteady Studios has a good reputation so far, so let's hope the game won't disappoint. Legendary Hoplite. And on February 2nd, Legendary Hoplite comes out. This is a hybrid action RPG and tower defense. You play as a young commander named Dio, and your main task is to prevent the enemy from breaching the gate. To do this, you'll need to strategically position your army, as well as level up both the army and the hero, and upgrade weapons and equipment. There are more than 100 levels and over 60 types of monsters, plus a variety of bosses from original Greek mythology. Persona 3 Reload. Continuing with Eastern games, Persona 3 Reload comes out on February 3rd. This is a remake of Persona 3, originally released in 2006. The main characters and plot remain the same, but the stories of secondary characters are slightly expanded. In the updated version, they promise improved gameplay, new mechanics, updated character models and animations, enlarged locations, a minimap, improved graphics, and most pleasantly, the addition of Russian language. Atomic Heart. Trapped in Limbo. On February 6th, the second expansion for Atomic Heart, called Trapped in Limbo, comes out. The game transports you to the surreal world of Limbo, where you'll run, jump, and slide, collecting apples or coins, which can be used to get either new weapon skins or unlock skill. They also promise a new system for improving the main character's abilities, different from the original game, and new types of enemies. Helldivers 2. is coming out on February 8th. This is a cooperative third-person shooter. The plot centers on the fight between humanity and bugs, immediately recalling the cult movie Starship Troopers. So, you take on the role of a soldier from an elite unit, and in a team of 4 players, you go on various missions. Tasks can vary, from destroying hostile bugs to evacuating civilians or mining necessary minerals. Before each mission, you'll need to carefully set up your equipment, and an important aspect is coordinating your gear with other group members. For example, one takes a grenade launcher, another brings ammunition for it. Accordingly, you'll also need to coordinate your actions in battle. One shoots, the other reloads. In addition, you'll have additional capabilities, namely stratagems, which are both offensive and defensive, like calling in a 500-kilogram bomb, additional ammunition, protective gear, and so on. Friendly fire is also present, so you can be knocked out not only by enemies, but also by your own. You'll also have the opportunity to upgrade your ship, improve weapons and armor. Overall, it looks very promising. Let's see what happens at release. The Inquisitor. The Inquisitor comes out on February 8th. This is a dark medieval action adventure with a third-person view, where you'll face difficult moral choices. You take on the role of one of the Inquisitors and head to the city of Königstein, where something mysterious is happening. You'll need to unravel mysterious cases and punish all unbelievers. The main focus is on the story, based on the fantasy novels of writer Jacek Pikara. They talk about how Jesus didn't die, but came down from the cross and unleashed his vengeance on all unbelievers. And for centuries, the Order of the Inquisitors has been watching over the observance of God's laws. They promise a semi-open city, which you'll explore, and new locations will open as you progress. The atmosphere of harsh medieval times, with all its laws and orders, the ability to interrogate suspects using torture and force. As for the combat system, judging by the description, it somewhat resembles the first Assassin's Creed. The hero will have various skills and abilities, as well as a unique ability to immerse himself in the so-called underworld and uncover secrets that suspects are trying to hide. The graphics certainly look a bit outdated, but all this is overshadowed by an interesting plot, atmospheric world, and the harshness of the Inquisitor, where not only local residents fear you, but even the guards at the gates will beg for forgiveness if they dare say something extra. Banishers. Ghosts of New Eden. On February 13th, Banishers Ghost of New Eden is set for release. This is a third-person action RPG. The game is set in 1965, in a city called New Eden. You play as a beloved couple, Antia and Red, who are ghost hunters. In one of their missions, Antia receives a fatal wound and becomes one of the spirits herself. Now the pair desperately tries to save Antia and free her soul from torment, or find a way to bring her back to life. The story is non-linear, with complex moral dilemmas, where your decisions will affect the main plot. The combat system is quite dynamic and represents a mix of light and heavy attacks, using the abilities of the two heroes. Visually, to be honest, it reminds me of God of War. You'll also have the opportunity to level up your character, develop various skills, upgrade weapons and equipment. At first glance, it looks like a decent adventure. Ultros comes out on February 13th. This is a psychedelic Metroidvania with roguelike elements. According to the story, you wake up in a cosmic womb called the Sarcophagus, which contains an ancient evil called Ultros. And now your task is to find a way out. But it won't be easy, as you're caught in a time loop. They promise 2 paths of passage. The first is violent, where you'll need to destroy everything in your path, and the other is constructive, where you'll need to collect resources, then engage in agriculture and, so to speak, grow bypass paths, opening up new locations in the process. Sometimes the animations might seem choppy, but that's due to the small number of frames, as everything was drawn by hand. Tomb Raider Remastered starring Lara Croft. For those who want a bit of nostalgia, on February 14th, a collection of remasters of the first parts of Tomb Raider is coming out. It will include the first 3 parts with all the additions. The game will receive improved graphics, the ability to lock the camera, and more than 160 achievements. Also, during the game, you'll have the opportunity to switch from the updated version to the original. Well, it looks dubious, but okay. Solium Infernum. Also on February 14th, Solium Infernum is released. This is a fork strategy game about political struggle in hell, where you can expect scandals, intrigues, and betrayal. According to the plot, the Prince of Darkness has disappeared, and in his absence, archdemons have unleashed a real war for the throne. You take on the role of one of the 8 archdemons, and your task is to outsmart your enemies and seize power using political and military strategy. Caribbean Legend, Pirate Open World RPG. The game includes a single-player mode with a story campaign, as well as a multiplayer online mode with asynchronous matches for 6 players. On February 15th, Caribbean Legend Pirate Open World RPG comes out. And trust me, the name is not the saddest part. According to the official version, this is a remake of the old Corsairs from 2012, but according to unofficial information, it barely qualifies as a remaster, because the engine here is the same as it was 12 years ago, which in principle cannot be a remake by definition. In terms of updates, they promise improved graphics, enhanced stability, a new interface, a unique weather system, expanded locations, new quests, a new soundtrack, lots of fixes, and the gameplay is stretched to 200 hours. And honestly, I'm once again surprised why it's not possible to take a modern engine on which some are now solo developing games and transfer the game to it. Skull and Bones. On February 16th, the long-suffering Skull and Bones is released, an adventure-action game set in the vast Indian Ocean. The game is an MMO with ships in an open world, where the main goal is to get the most powerful ship. On the plus side, the game has good graphics, detailing, music, and extensive customization options for the ship, which are divided into 3 categories: cargo, navigational, and combat. For example, cargo ships are slow but have a strong hull and high carrying capacity, while navigational ships are the fastest but with weak protection. Also worth noting is the wide selection of various weapons that can be installed on your ships as you level up. Well, that's probably all. The plot here is just for show, don't expect much from it, as well as from the gameplay itself. The essence is roughly this: you start on a small boat, and your task is to endlessly collect resources, complete quests of the FH, and level up your ship. Naturally, you'll encounter battles with other ships, controlled both by A and other player. It's not yet clear about PV whether there will be separate servers or separate locations. In general, it's not clear. We'll figure it out at release. As for your character's journey, it's maximally stripped down. You can only run around shops and get quests. Even boarding is essentially non-existent. It all happens automatically. And don't forget, this is Ubisoft, so on the ship, you'll find not sweaty, stinky guys, but rather your own little pirate harem. So, are you with me, my friend? The Thaumaturge. On February 20th, the Thaumaturge is set for release. This is a dark RPG with an isometric camera view. Set in Warsaw in 1905, you take on the role of Thaumaturge Victor Shulsky. Salutators are a kind of ghost, like being, in simpler terms, ghosts. There will be several types of them in the game, each with its own characteristics. They promise a non-linear story with complex moral dilemmas and detective elements, a unique tactical combat system combining physical attacks and supernatural skills, character leveling, as well as an atmospheric and detailed world created on the Unreal Engine 5. Le Mans Ultimate. On February 20th, Le Mans Ultimate is released, a new racing simulator that gives you the opportunity to participate in the most difficult and prestigious race in the world, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. For this, you'll have at your disposal the most modern and powerful hypercar prototypes from well-known brands. Each car has its own characteristics and behavior on the track. The game supports various modes, including competitive multiplayer races and random races. Initially, it will be released on CE, and at the end of 2024, they promise a release on console. Furnish Master. Also on February 20th, Furnish Master is released, which last October failed to reach release. A relaxing game about furnishing and decorating apartments, homes, commercial real estate, and outdoor areas. You'll have a wide variety of colors and materials for furniture, each with its own settings. The game also includes a story mode where you need to solve puzzles, invest in real estate, buy places, decorate them, and sell them for maximum profit. Terminator, Dark Fate, Defiance. Another game that moved from last year and we're now expecting on February 21st is Terminator Dark Fate Defiance. This is a gritty, real-time strategy game based on the Terminator Dark Fate movie. The game's plot takes you to the epicenter of the war between humanity and the artificial intelligence known as Legion. You'll take on the role of the commander of the Humanity faction and try to save the remnants of humanity. You'll have various types of weapons and ammunition at your disposal, a troop upgrade system, and they promise full destructibility, allowing you to completely change the battlefield. The game also features online modes with 1-on-1, 2-on-2, and 2-on-2-on-1 matches, where you can play as one of the three factions and our resistance and our Nightingale. On February 22nd, Nightingale enters early access on PCE, an adventure cooperative survival game with first or third-person views in a fantasy setting of the Victorian era. It's a PvE survival game without PvE fun. For non-gamers, this is a peaceful game where you can't kill other players. You can only kill monsters, either alone or by teaming up. You'll find a large open world, divided by mystical portals into many diverse locations, which will be randomly generated. This happens through crafting cards, allowing you to determine what the world will contain. In the game, you'll struggle for survival, gather resources, build fortifications, fight many different monsters and bosses, craft equipment and weapons, imbuing them with magical property, and your main goal is to find a way to the magical city of Nightingale. The game is one of the most anticipated in its genre. Pacific Drive. Also on February 22nd, another interesting survival game called Pacific Drive is released. However, here you'll survive behind the wheel of a trusty station wagon. The game takes place in the northwestern regions of the USA, where you'll explore the world, collect resources, upgrade, and modernize your car, battling paranormal phenomena, anomalies, and weather conditions to ultimately unravel the mystery of the Olympic exclusion zone. Your base will be a workshop in a garage, which you can also upgrade, and there you'll upgrade and repair your ride. They promise a wide range of practical customization, necessary not only for protection but also for studying anomalies, and the better you upgrade your car, the further you can go. Open Roads. Also on February 22nd, Open Roads is released, an atmospheric interactive adventure with a first-person view. The game has a quite unusual visual style, combining three-dimensional environments with drawn-tooled characters. The story tells about a mother and daughter who set off on a journey to find a treasure hidden somewhere near the Canadian border. As for gameplay, you'll probably walk around locations, find necessary items, solve puzzles, and follow the story. That's basically it. Garden Life. A cozy simulator, and also on February 22nd, Garden Life, a cozy simulator is released. This is a relaxing gardening simulator where you start by clearing the area and then design your garden. You'll plant flowers, install various decorations, and then water, trim, and care for your plants. The game has story and creative mode. Winter Survival, an adventure that will tell us the story of a turbulent time. We can only hope that the story will be interesting and the gameplay playable. The last one, of course, is a big question. On February 28th, Winter Survival enters early access on PCE, a survival game in harsh winter conditions with a first-person view. According to the plot, you fail during an ascent of Mount Washington. There's no help to wait for, so you can only rely on yourself. You'll have minimal supplies, so the main task is to reach the rescue station and send a distress signal. In the game, you'll struggle against bad weather, monitor your body and mind, build shelter, somehow procure food, and it seems there will be no weapons, except maybe a spear, so it's better not to mess with wild animals like bears or wolves. They also promise a unique sanity system, meaning your mind will start causing more problems than hunger. It all starts with fatigue, then a loss of pain to continue fighting, and it can even end with hallucination. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons Remake. On February 28th, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons Remake is released. As you can tell from the name, it's a remake of the 2013 game. The story tells about two brothers who set off in search of a cure for their dying father. Along the way, they must overcome many obstacles and help each other. Each stage of the journey has been completely reworked on the Unreal Engine 5 while preserving the original story. As a bonus, they've added local cooperative play. And here, my friends, you don't even need to look far for an example. They took a modern engine and transferred the game to it. It all looks beautiful. Welcome to ParadiZe. On February 29th, Welcome to ParadiZe is released. This is an adventure zombie action game in an open-world post-apocalypse setting with survival elements and an isometric camera view. You can expect a small story campaign where you'll need to collect resources, craft weapons, clear infected objects, set up your base, and the like. The game's main feature is the mechanic of controlling zombies using special devices. Thanks to this, you'll be able to assemble an entire army of zombies and make them loyal helpers. Some can be left to manage the base, while others can be taken with you on resource hunts and exploring new territory. You'll also be able to upgrade your zombies, giving them powerful weapons and equipment. The game also includes a cooperative mode for up to 4 players. BorderBots VR. Moving on to VR games. On February 8th, BorderBots VR is released. This is a puzzle simulator set in the land of the future ruled by artificial intelligence. You play as a human in the role of a border guard, and your task is to check their documents for inconsistencies, oddities, and contraband. And the higher you climb the career ladder, the more modern equipment you can get. OVRDARK, a do-not-open story. On February 9th, the release of OVRDARK, a do-not-open story is scheduled. This is a horror game where you wander through a cursed mansion and unravel its secrets and mystery. It looks spooky. On February 15th, Undercover comes out, a shooter where you take on the role of an undercover agent, and your task is to stop an evil organization that has started implanting chips in people's brains, as well as eliminate their leader. You can play either in single-player mode or in a cooperative for 2 people. Level Up Your Body. On February 29th, Level Up Your Body enters early access. This is a rhythm game for fitness in virtual reality. Put on the headset and hit objects. The more actively you do this, the stronger you'll become in real life. And also scheduled for February is the release of a game called Bootstrap Island. Here you'll need to survive after a shipwreck on a tropical island. And while the surrounding world looks pretty good, the impression is somewhat marred by these cut-off arms. Well, what can I say overall? The month looks pretty good. There's plenty to play and plenty to laugh at. I hope you find something for yourself. Friends, don't forget to support this video with a like and a comment, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And that's all from me. Until next time, bye.